What you gotta say?
Come on, DJ, get the intro in.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to What You Gotta Say podcast. I'm your co-host, DJ Woo Beats. I got the host, the man in charge. I'm gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself.
What's going on, my good people? It's your boy Juwan, aka J Hawk. You know, let's tell the guests who we got in the building today.
To the guests who we got in the building, we got a very special guest, and we want to congratulate him on becoming one of the city council board members. Give it up for Tobais Young.
Oh, congratulations! Thank you. How does? Well, I guess my initial question is, what made you want to run for city council?
Just interacting with people in the community, and you know, when different things were happening in the community, it was like, we need someone like you. And me not being into politics, I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. And I've been hearing it for years. And then when you hear it from
so
different
many
sources at a certain time in your life where it's matching up with you having free time, I'm like, well, it must be time.
I was gonna say, you probably. I felt like all the stars had that line for you to be like, you know what, I can actually do this now. And I feel like, for me to do something, I feel like I either got to commit to it or don't even waste my time or daytime. So
I have to put 100% into it. And with me having so many things going on, I couldn't give it 100%, so it wasn't time.
But now it's time. Now Saginaw, you're just like, all right, let's see. Let's look under the hood and see what's going on.
Yeah. I wanna take it back. I always like to, dive into the person who you were before, everything. So we gonna take it back. You from Saginaw?
Yeah, I grew up on 13th and Cherry.
Okay, 13th. Man. I was 15th and Cherry.
15th and Cherry.
So yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So what got you into, the whole politics of Saginaw and all of that stuff? Like, what got you into all of that?
Well, I've always just, been aware of what's going on, and I knew about the political side of it because I had to open businesses. I had to pull permits, and I had to deal with the city, had to deal with the land bank, had to deal with the, with the tax sale and the inspections department. So just running a business, it gives you a good understanding of the mechanism behind, how everything moves around Saginaw. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess that was kind of like the origin of the question. Like, so what I'm trying to word it right. So you say you was a businessman first. So I want to just take it all the way back though. Like, so what was like Tobais growing up? Like, how was Tobais growing up? What made him want to be business savvy? What made him want to be into pay attention to those type of things? Was it your environment? Was it the way you was raised?
You have a mentor at all?
Yeah.
Well, I first started dealing with the city. This was back, I don't know if you guys remember, with Out of Control when we started. The car club.
The car club?
Yeah. I'm one of the founding members.
Definitely.
And we started getting different places around the city to have our car show, and it started getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Definitely was growing.
2008, my idea was, we getting real big, let's do something on Ojibwe Island. Yeah. And then that's when I got into the politics of it, because I had to submit the form. We had to design how the show was going to be. I had to deal with the Parks and Recreation. And back then, that's when it was Councilman Amos O'Neill. He personally knew me, so I had a conversation with him. I said, we're a good group of guys. We're from the city, and we're doing something positive. So he advocated, for us. And then that's when we was able to acquire Ojibwe Island. And, we put on that show in 2008, because that was MC Bree's last performance at the show. We had about 300 registered vehicles and about 10,000 people on Ojibwe Island, and it went off without a hitch.
Yeah,
so,
there was no issues. I
think shortly after that, that's when the tornado hit Saginaw and it messed up Wicks Park. Yeah. So we went back to council. They let us use some of the lawn equipment, and we cut the trees and we painted the basketball court. So that was my first interaction with dealing with the city on that level, and that was back then.
Yeah. So, and how old was you, if you don't mind me asking? Like, what?
In 2008. Wow, man. Let me see. I was about my mid-30s.
Oh, okay.
Mid-30s.
Okay.
Don't be age gap him on the podcast.
No.
Yeah, I'm, let me do the math. I'm 50 now. So,
Yeah.
So that was, that would say 2008.
Yeah.
Then.
Okay.
And then after, I was comfortable with them, dealing with them then. So on one of my car show circuits. You know, we were over in Chicago at a car show because we traveled
y'all
statewide
traveled
back
all
then.
over,
So this was 2009. We over in Chicago, and after the car show ended, everybody was, man, we got to go get some Harold's chicken. And I'm like, everybody at the car show want this Harold's chicken. Let's go and see what this is. We went downtown Chicago, and there was a line like 4 blocks long for this chicken place, and it was good.
Yeah,
we had like
Harold's
5
is good.
flavors, and I'm like, we need something like that in Saginaw, but I've never been a person to say what's needed here. I put things together. So when I came back, that was on my mind. I said, I'm gonna open a spot like Harold's Chicken. So I got to looking at different buildings, and I already had familiarity with dealing with the city. So that's when 2009, I bought the building that's downtown, the former J&E. You know, that's when downtown wasn't fixed up. It was kind of run down. And I bought the building and I started working on it just after I get off work, just going in there dollar by dollar, doing it myself. And then also my car club members, because we putting our lowriders together. So we all have like, skills. So we was pooling our skills and, bouncing ideas off each other. So 2010, that's when they closed Genesee down and they started digging up the old train tracks and paving it. And I was on the inside finishing up. So that's why in 2010, I think it was October, I got featured as one of the new businesses down there. And I opened up, Wing King. And I did it kind of like a mix of, 31 flavors. I had 13 flavor wings. It did really well. So the money that I generated off of that, I was able to redevelop, the other side because it was a bar next to it, and I renovated that. And then I opened, Lonnie's Lounge, which, was paying homage to my grandmother who had passed.
I remember Lonnie's Lounge for sure.
And that's what my grandmother used to, that was her call sign to the family. She would call everybody and she said, come on down to Lonnie's Lounge. That meant come to her house. We go play cards and barbecue and everything. So that was what she always said, come down to Lonnie's Lounge.
Family together. And,
so that's why I opened and named it that. And that was kind of the feel that we had in there because, my aunt was in there working because it was my family that was running it.
Okay.
And I was always in there. So, that's how I developed that. And then I renovated the second floor and I actually lived up there.
That's smart.
Then, I'm always going to the tax sale, buying houses, flipping them. I had rentals. I went to the tax sale and I bought the banquet hall on James and 15th. And I closed down for a little bit so I can renovate that. Because at that point in time, I said that there was no independent banquet halls. You either had to be a member of a lodge or in a union to rent a hall. So I said, I'm going to get this and open it so just regular people can open a hall without being in a... I've always created businesses that fill the gap.
You looking like what I need, and then you looking like they ain't even here. So
and then instead of waiting for it to come or complaining about what we don't have, I just
go ahead and make it happen.
So I bought that and I opened up, my banquet hall on 15th and James back in 2014. So I've had that about 11 years. And then since then, I've just sold down some of my properties. I sold that building with the restaurant and nightclub downtown. I still hold the banquet hall, but right now I have an insurance agency. So I'm a vendor with Garber Buick. I do all the insurances for the Right Way and all the dealerships around here. I do homeowners. A lot of the landlords use me for their rental properties and renters.
Okay.
So, that's I like that because I don't have to be in a physical location. It doesn't cut into my free time anymore. So I have my insurance agency and
shout out Discount Insurance Agency.
So and then I have the banquet hall, which I don't use it. We might have a Christmas party down there or have Thanksgiving there. I just use it for personal use at this time, and I'm kind of past the point of renting it out to the public. There's enough independent agencies, so I kind of was looking at maybe making it a nonprofit space, or run some after school programs in there. So I'm still exploring that.
Different
but
avenues.
I want to do that with the hall because I have all those lots. I maintain all those lots through that corridor of 15th and James. So, so I've always dealt with the city. I've seen the movement. Been at the tax sales. I know how to pull permits, and I built the garage last year, so I had to deal with the county for the erosion permits in the city, and I had to design a setback. So, just with me, opening things up and running businesses, I have a good knowledge of how the different systems work through the city. So,
so it's safe to say that you going into it hands on. Like you wanna you don't mind getting your hands dirty with this position that you that you took upon or whatever. And what is some short term goals for you in your position right now?
Right now, I'm in the information process. I'm just going to the different departments. I'm sitting down, meeting the person, because you could know what department does what, but you got to go in there and talk and meet that person and create a personal relationship.
Yeah.
And then even the different organizations, just like I just toured the Women of Color building, and I'll be touring the fire station on Tuesday, and I like to get my information firsthand, because when you ask for information and a person hands it to you, it could be tainted. They can leave out some things that you need to really
biased.
know. Because I'm a troubleshooter by trade. I'm an electrician at General Motors, and I fix stuff all day long. So I have an analytical mind. But I can only analyze things as well as the information that I get. So I like to go to the source. So just like right now, it's a hot topic is bringing tiny homes or creating the infrastructure to allow the development here. And I don't think it's enough information on the tiny homes. So
What's tiny homes?
They're affordable homes that are like, they're not huge. They're
200 to 600 square feet,
Yep.
and they can be on 2 lots or setback. It's not enough information. Just how you
Okay.
you heard
even know what
the
it
term,
was.
but
Yep.
you don't know,
they're
haven't
affordable.
seen them.
That's the thing. Like they cost
So-
like what a car would cost.
Yeah, so it's like not enough information. So instead of hearing the research that's here, I just Googled tiny home.
We don't have any tiny homes in Saginaw though.
It's it's a community down in Detroit.
Okay,
I've
I was gonna
reached
say, I
out
did
to
see
them.
about that, and they love it. Like the
Yeah.
people who got. Matter of fact, that was a black entrepreneur who brought that, wasn't it? Who
Well,
said-
the people that I talk to, it seems like it's a religious organization.
Oh,
They're
okay.
placing people and doing assistance. So I don't have all the information, but I made contact with them last week, and we set up something. I'm going to drive down there
get
because
some
I figure
information.
it's a better use of time instead of having meetings over and over about something I don't know about. I want to ride and see. Because there's certain things you have to see with your own eyes, like how it fits into the community, the building materials that's used. I just want to go down there and meet them and talk it over. So when it does come across the table, I'll have all the information to make the correct decision for our community. So that's what I'm doing, in each thing right now. So, I kind of dial back my overtime at General Motors to get up in the mornings and go into the different departments.
You got a lot of jobs.
Yeah, I don't. But if it's when it's something that you enjoy doing,
It don't feel like work.
a job.
Yeah.
No.
So that's what I was going to ask you. Have it felt like you've worked over the last 10 years?
No.
Exactly. It's
Don't tell them, but I would do what I do at General Motors for free. I love just fixing stuff. I mean, I'm being an electrician
he didn't even
is.
say he was at General Motors. I mean,
That's what I'm
he
saying.
plugged it in there, but I'm thinking everything else. Like he got the insurance, flipping houses. I'm like, that was. I thought that's what you was doing
I
full
have
time.
26 years at General Motors.
That's crazy.
And, I'm an electrician there, and being an electrician, I kind of would have it similar to like being a doctor. If you're a doctor, that's a general term. You can be a pediatrician, brain
Specialized.
surgeon. So being an electrician, we're not all the same. Some are better at construction and pulling wires. My specialty is robots. Everything is automated.
yes.
So I'm kind of the robot guy, and then the AGC's all the automation. So I'm a tech person.
That's like your lane.
Yeah.
So I deal a lot with the controls engineers,
Okay.
for some. So I get into the logic and the programming and stuff like
That's
that too.
crazy.
So
I thought you were just doing straight the electrical, not digging into like the actual.
I sit and look at a bank of computers.
See.
And I actually have my robots' names, so they come across the radio. They'll say, "Big Shirley's down. Big Shirley over here. George over here." I got a personal relationship with the robots, So I keep it running, and I just watch everything and maintain it. And, I come in on the weekends and do my preventive maintenance to make sure everything runs well. So I just, I'm a troubleshooter by nature.
So when you started off at GM, because I interned at GM for like, I want to say 6 months to a year, the one out there on Washington, and those guys, and I was working with journeymans. Basically, they anytime something broke down, they would go out there and fix it. But most of the time, we just sat in this little office or this little area, and we did nothing for like 6 hours, and then
And they
something
don't
would happen.
care because they're making money.
And they don't care. They be sitting there reading the paper. I'm
Well,
like,
right now, when the line goes down, it costs General Motors
That's what it
about
was.
$25,000 a minute. So I'm watching a bank of computers, and I can see different faults come up.
Yep.
And I'm there, and then that's why I have to go from 0 to 100 as far as my critical thinking, because when something happens, I got to immediately respond. And I usually ask the operator, what is it doing? I got to take his information quickly, make a decision, and then get it back running. So that's what I do. That's how my brain works. That's why I'm kind of using that and putting it into politics. You know, we have problems. First thing, I see the problems. I got to go and get the information from the different departments so I can put together something that'll work.
That's kind of cool that you're approaching it like that. Barry Gordy approached Motown like GM, so that's pretty dope.
Dang, that's crazy. Just thinking he's coming from like an analytical mindset. But
I started here. I started at Steering Gear.
Okay, that's
I
what I
haven't
was
worked in Saginaw since 2006. So I was at Steering Gear. It spent off to Delphi. And then when they went bankrupt, I flew back to General Motors, and I went to Lansing Delta. So I commuted from Saginaw to Lansing for 4 years, which was rough.
Oh man!
And then when Flint needed people, I transferred from
Flint. Yeah.
Into Flint. Yeah, I've been in Flint since 2010.
So since you're in the tech, I would say kind of like the tech space because you're in electrical engineering is what it is. Basically, electrician.
Maintenance. Yeah.
You're not worried about like because AI has been like sweeping jobs like crazy. I feel like you're in I almost want to say AI proof position because yours is more hands on, where like AI is like all data based, where they can kind of combine multiple jobs into one.
It's still needed even in the electrical space because the line tracking, a lot of the back end programming, you're creating a part for a truck that's a mile away on the other side. Everything has to coordinate. So when you have the paint department, they're over there painting the truck, and then they're over in the engine department building the engine that's going to marry up 8 hours later.
Yeah.
And all of that is done by data. So it's kind of similar to the AI, but that's our line tracking and stuff. And you have to have knowledge of that too.
Yeah.
Because then sometimes, some will crash and get out of sequence. So I have to go in and put things back in sequence so you're not billing one job off and then now you're down for hours.
Yeah.
So
that means they send you to do a lot of training, I assume.
Yeah, I go down to the Warren Tech Center a lot, and then there's a company called KUKA. They take the robots and they come into the plants and build them. So just like last year, I think it was in October, we were getting a robot coming, and they sent me to KUKA, which is right outside of Pontiac.
Okay.
I went there and I went inside and seen the robot and had lunch with them. And basically, Jim sent us to see if we see any issues with that setup before it comes into the plant. So they paid me for a day to go down there. Came back with the information. Kind of similar to what I'm doing with the tiny homes. I've been sent out to gather information and to see what I can see and then come back. So like my approach is similar to what I've done in my career.
And that's kind of cool that you said that because my next question was going to be what is some examples of you incorporating what you do at GM to what you do with city council?
Yeah, I don't mind putting in the time to go out and get the correct information because that makes me efficient. So I can sit and discuss something I don't know about for hours with someone, but I can go and get the correct information and make the decision like that and move on. And that's just my efficient approach to things because you spend a lot of time talking about something that you don't know about. Yeah. But if you can go and get the information, you can, wrap it up, make a good decision, and move on to new business. And you don't waste so much time spinning your wheels on certain topics. So I'd rather, take an hour to drive and get the information than sit in a room for 3 hours talking about it. That's just my approach.
I mean, that's common sense.
It's not that common.
No, that's true. So many people, I feel like in this day and age, take everything at face value and then run off of that information instead of really looking under the hood. Because I'm a mechanic by trade. I went to Washburn University and got my master's. I became a master tech and even worked.
Washington?
No, Washburn University. That's out in Topeka, Kansas.
Okay.
And ended up becoming a master tech. And I worked for the city of Saginaw for like maybe a year or two. Yeah. Until I realized there's more money to be made elsewhere. So, but it's crazy when you break things down and actually, get good actual data
up under the hood.
Yeah, you can make so much better decisions and choices. And I always try to tell my kids, I'm like, they be like, well, I need to read this. I'm like, because you need to get data. Like, how you going to make informed decisions without the information.
Like, the decision should be quick.
Yeah.
But the process leading up to the correct decision might take some time. So, when things come across the table, I want to already have the research done so I can make a quick decision, but it comes like you got to put in the work away from the table.
So how do you gain your knowledge? Like, when do you got time to gain your knowledge?
You make time for something you want to do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I feel like you spend a lot of time researching and studying stuff before you, step on the scene.
And I manage my time well because, like, this Monday coming up is our city council meeting. So I already have an excused day at work. So I got a full day. So I said, okay, this is a good day to jump in the car, drive down that way, hit a restaurant that we don't have this way. You got to kind of, you got to make it not like work. So I'll go down there and talk with her. But while I'm over that way, I might stop and grab a bite to eat, go in the Great Lakes crossings or something like that. You got to make a day trip out of it. And then also it's a couple other communities too. So after I go down there to Detroit, there's another community at Whitmore Lake.
Okay.
So I want to
that's a tiny home community, or
yes. So one is an urban setting, one is a rural setting. So it's two different settings, two different companies.
See those now, just because I never seen a tiny living community. I've seen them online. I was super fascinated.
Even if a person say, "Do you want to have a 200 square foot or a 400 square foot?" You have to walk in one and see how it feels to know which one you want, and then also the building materials. Yeah. The company that came and built them, I want to see the quality of the craftsmanship, because when I walk in places, that's just automatically what I do. I start even when I go on vacation. I was in Mexico last month. When I walk in builders, I'm looking around. I'm looking at how they ran the wires, and I just
he go full electrician. That's not up to code.
Yeah, but it's something that I enjoy. So I look at the craftsmanship. Even if I look at drywall, I see the seams showing. It just I've been around that for so long that just even without knowing it, I just do it. So that's why I have to be in front of certain things so I can, see, because the decisions we make with tiny homes, for example, that's going to affect our community possibly for the next 20 or 30 years. So it takes some correct research.
So what you said that it affect our community, does that mean the city is considering, I guess, getting behind this project? If you come up with good information, is the city gonna be like, all right, what's the budget? So,
well, they're already in the talks of it, and the city is not going to per se create those. The city is going to put into effect ordinances that's going to guide any company that wants to come in and build them.
Oh, so incentivize them essentially.
Well, I mean, when you do zoning, you have to say, okay, if you want to build a house, the house has to be this far from the road. It has to blah blah this and that. And that's what the role of the zoning does. They kind of give you like an outline of what can be built. So if we want to invite, because we want to have a diverse mixture of housing. You want to have, you want to have multi-units. You want to have single-family homes, but tiny homes is just a hot topic, and some people want them. So they just want to create the pathway. If a investor want to come in and do them, we want it to be done a certain way. So right now they're in talks of, the ordinances and putting the outline in place so that if someone comes here, because you may have investor that want to come in and do it really cheaply to make a buck and then leave, the area in bad shape. And that's what that's why the city will protect, the residents from things that maybe could go sideways years from now if the decisions aren't made correctly today, because, investor want to come in and make money, and that's fine to come in and make money, but make money in a way that doesn't, hurt the community.
Yeah, down the line.
This might be a little messy. I just want to know, is it anybody else on the board that's thinking like you right now?
Well, I think that everyone has their own set of skills. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone will think like me because I have a different set of experiences from them, and I think that's what will make us stronger.
Well,
as a whole
going into
board.
it like you.
I'm not sure because when you walk your path, you don't look left and right. You look straight ahead.
You're right about that one.
That's right.
So I just know that I have a unique set of experiences, so my approach could be different. But you still got to reach across the aisle and work with people. You can't go at things like a lone wolf. You just have to explain to people that, hey, this is my strong point. I might be weaker in certain areas. When we start talking about things in education and things like that, I may not be as informed as a council member sitting next to me.
Yeah.
But I can trust his skill set, and I can, listen to his presentation of it, just like I would want them to know that, I've been building and crafting.
Yeah.
And when I do my research, they'll probably lean on my experience that I'm making a correct decision. And that's what'll make us stronger as a whole governing body, is that everybody's not the same.
Yeah.
That's what makes us
That's the
better.
best part.
And how do y'all stay on one accord? Like, how do y'all get together? How do y'all stay on one accord?
Well, we're under the Open Meetings Act, so we have to have everything in the public. We don't gather outside of the public view, but
Okay.
we can do our own individual research. We'll present it, but it's just that's where the politics part comes. You have to have personal relationships with people. You go and talk to the department heads and things like that, so you can put plans together. We're not each other's opponent. Even with city officials, they're not your opponent. We're all trying to make Saginaw better, and some people go at it a different way than others. You have to understand the person, and that will keep conflict down too. When you understand a person's goal, their skill set, so you have to govern together.
Yeah, like a tree. Like everybody should have the same goals for the city, but you might be strong they might be strong this way, and y'all, as long as the tree growing, that's all right.
That's why a lot of people in the community were excited when I, was appointed, because I just got a unique skill set, and they've seen how I've put businesses together. I've kind of been forward thinking, and I'm not really I don't sit back and complain about what Saginaw needs. I just, I'm more action oriented. So
That's pretty cool.
I can tell that, because I think we were talking about it in our last podcast, where a lot of people have like really good thoughts and theories on how to do things, but when it comes to application, that's where, a lot of us just have issues just applying what we know. And the fact that you have all that background with opening businesses and being an electrician is like, I think that's going to be monumental to the city, just in what we're trying to do.
Well, a lot of people got the ideas on what somebody else should do.
Yeah.
They won't do anything themselves, but they'll sit back and tell you everything that somebody else should be doing. And that's I think
crazy to me. Yeah.
That's 90% of the conversations is what somebody else should be doing. And then when it boils down to it, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, that's right. That's 100% right there.
That's kind of the ideal of what we had with this podcast, because we was just thinking like, man, the community need more voices or just need to hear more stuff that's going on. So we're just like, how can we give to the community or let the community know what's happening? So we created the What You Gotta Say podcast, and that's kind of what the premises of just, hey man, what you gotta say? What's going on in the community? We don't have a good open dialogue.
And honestly, I didn't mean to cut you off. And honestly, my generation, well, even like our generation ain't really hip to what's going on in the city for real. We just like how you saying as a whole. I'm saying we because it's as a whole, but like we just like you saying like it's a bunch of pointing the fingers. And Saginaw ain't never got nothing going on.
And I see so many people on social media, because like a lot of times when you look on Facebook, there's always something bad that's happening in Saginaw. And people are like, I'm so glad I moved out of here. Oh, or it's Saginaw ain't nothing. Y'all need to get up out of it. But all right, then people who can't, what are we doing to change it? And so
there's some people that can leave that don't want to leave.
They don't want to leave.
I've been commuting and I don't have to be here, but
I'm the same.
I created my own peaceful space here. So my dream job is in Flint. My dream home is here. So
see,
so I don't. Everybody that's here. Everybody is here is not stuck.
No,
some people here because they want to be.
And some people are here and thriving, which that's what I will the community understand. Like, you don't have to be here and suffer. You can make something happen. You just have to put in action.
And I had a conversation with. There's different elements in the city, and you don't want to just, distance yourself from them. And I think a lot of times, they try to create Saginaw in a certain way, and they forget about a segment of the population. But they have to be included and move forward too. And I had a conversation just a few days ago, and the individual reached out and said, well, what can I do? We got to make Saginaw better, and it's a lot of people that want to make Saginaw better, but they don't know how to help. So what I told him, I said, well, some things are going to happen positive. Some doors are going to open. And when we get those doors open, if you out enjoying some of these places that are open and you see this younger generation, they might sit a Hennessy bottle down on the ground. You tell them, man, put that in the garbage can.
That's it.
because you an influencer too in the community, and you a leader, and a lot of them don't realize they are. So it may be just as something as don't throw that box out the window. This is our side of town, or this is our park. Don't trash it. You know what I mean? Yeah. We need those people to help move the community forward too. So it's not always in politics. It's not always financial. It could be just seeing something that's not right and just addressing it, and it's coming from a place. And then certain people that get respected in the community, and they have to step up and move the community forward too.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I was definitely gonna ask what could people who's not in the what could the community do to help y'all? And that's perfect. That's perfect. It start there.
Yeah,
that's a good start. It start there.
Instead of picking 5 people to fix Saginaw and putting it all on their back, how about 50,000 people just do a little bit?
Just something small. Yeah. And it's crazy what a clean community could do, just change the outlook of that whole neighborhood. Just picking up a little bit of trash here and there, because you got to think, when you throw something out the window, like, this where I live at, man.
Yeah, so things like that, and you want the park to be open, but then you got to not trash it and leave everything, right there. So, that's the support we need. Like, okay, we got this now. Let's make sure it's nice and it stay open. That's everybody's job.
Yeah.
That's everybody. Everybody who visits, even people who don't visit, it's your job to do that. Yep.
Yeah. You got anything else? I'm sitting here thinking, because I know I wanted to touch bases. You pretty much touched bases on everything that I had for.
No, I was just more curious about the business aspect, because you said you got that banquet hall that you kind of use more for personal use now. Mm-hmm. I'm just, what did he say? Like, what made him want to do the banquet hall? Did you say exactly?
Well, back when I bought it in 2014, there wasn't any independent banquet halls. You had to be a union member or a member of
or go across town.
But
now we have a few, but back then
there was none. Yeah,
and I just created that space to do that. I was like ordering. Matter of fact, the first event I had there was when Mayweather fought Pacquiao.
Oh,
that was my grand opening. Yep, and I had it because I have a 12-foot screen in there. And people came in to watch the fight, you know. And I've had Christmas parties. It's not a really big venue, but it just fit right into the community.
Yeah.
So that was my usage, of it. And, I had my run with it, but now, my free time is more important, even if it's just fishing. My free time is more important than doing with the things I like to do. So, I'm getting more involved in the community because I've joined I'm the setup chair with the Saginaw African Cultural Festival. Oh. So they reached out to me and needed some assistance. So, I helped them with the setup because, me setting up something like that out of control show way back, I kind of can see and map out and make things move more efficiently. And then also, with the electrical, help them set up all electrical and maintain that. And then even like now I have, helping them with plans to expand because it's going to get bigger. So I want to help them, electrically, expand too, to be able to grow. So that's what I'll be doing in the background for the upcoming festival is, expanding the electrical grid for them.
Dang, that's crazy. And it's funny, he just left a comment saying he likes to enjoy his free time. I'm like, what free time? He say fishing, but
yeah, I fish. I love to fish.
Yeah.
That's my peaceful place where I reset myself, gather my thoughts, and a lot of my ideas come from sitting there, fishing.
That's crazy how much ideas come from when you're sitting still and like don't have any distractions where your mind like finally we can process this.
Everybody got to have something that resets them. It could be going to the gym.
Yep.
It could be, just got to be productive. Your reset can't be shopping and spending money. You know what I mean? You got to have a peaceful, productive way to reset yourself. And like I said, maybe fishing, hunting, or walking something. Bike riding. You have to have something constructive that resets you mentally.
Yeah. That's important.
That's real important. I always feel like when we got so much sensory input that we don't have a lot of time to really process this data, and sometimes we just get backlogged. And so when you get that moment of going fishing or going to the gym, you can just that's weird because like when I do my runs or walks in the morning, I'll be like, dang, all these crazy ideas be popping up.
And you notice things that you don't even notice. Like I take a bike ride, you notice things in your community that you didn't even see.
You're right. You're right about that one.
You need to slow it down, slow it down and take a step back, and then you can move forward more efficiently.
I got a question. So what do you think about the whole far as like us as a culture, as Black people or whatever, like it's a lot of stigmas on us, but it's also a lot of things that we kind of like backwards as far as like things that we praise or things that we glorify versus things that we should be praising and glorifying or handling. And like, what is your comment on that?
I mean, just being a Black person, we diverse in our thinking, our craftsmanship, and some people don't realize their power that they have. Nope. And then it also comes at a certain time, because if you talk to me 10 years ago, I talk differently than now. Okay. So everybody follow their own path, and we got to not be so hard on each other, because, a person 5 years ago is different. You got to let people grow at their own speed and not be so hard on each other. You got to, walk your own walk. That may influence somebody to start their walk instead of beating them down. And we got that bad, and you don't uplift each other. So, everybody, have their different walks of life, and sometimes it takes a little longer than other times, but that's just what I can say about that. It's a lot in us as a people, bad and good, but everybody is on a different path at a different time, and because a person's timing is not what you think it should be, you can't get down on them.
Yeah. That's good, man. Well, I definitely appreciate your time. Obviously, you're a busy man, so we appreciate you pulling up on us and
Friday. I don't do
sitting
nothing
down.
on Friday. Friday, that's
his Zen day. Okay.
Yeah. What's your typical Friday like?
I usually get up and get a haircut. I had to get a haircut early this week because I had to do a photo for the
photo ops.
city. Yeah. But I usually Friday I'll get up, wash my car, and that's my cheat day too. I gotta eat something I ain't supposed to eat. You know what I mean? I'm gonna eat something I'm not supposed to eat.
I'll be in Detroit on my cheat days. That's funny when you said that. Go to Detroit, find something to eat. I'll be on them food apps.
So my Friday, I usually take it light, and then I'm very family oriented. I commune with my family over dominoes.
Okay.
So they usually start playing a little later in the evening on Fridays, and they kind of wait up for me to get off work. So I get off work, and that's another way I reset myself. I have to see my family.
Me too.
So we just get together, some music, play some dominoes, and then that's how I end my week. I have to see them either Friday or Saturday. We get together, once a week, my whole family.
Oh,
that's dope. That's dope, man. But like I was saying, man, I definitely appreciate your time, man. And whenever you want to come back, you're always welcome to come back.
Thank you for having
me. All right, man. We glad you came, because I was like, we're gonna have the councilman on. I was like, I gotta pick his brain for.
And anything, things come up, you might want different insight, and I speak transparency from the heart. So whatever you ask me, that's why a lot of people took issue with how quick my answers were on the interview, and it's like, because I'm speaking my truth, and I speak right to the point. I'm a person of more action, less words.
See.
And you walking in your purpose too, though. Like, what I'm saying? You really. What's to be explained?
10 years, So.
What's to be explained, man?
I usually talk about a lot of things that I've already done. I very rarely say what I'm getting ready to do. I'll tell you what I did already, because because I figure when you're saying what you're gonna do, you're kind of convincing yourself or somebody else. But just do it. So the tiny homes, me riding down there on Monday, I usually will tell somebody when I got back from doing it. So I got other things in the works like that that I'm not gonna say, but just know I'm putting in the work. So when you see the fruit, I'm already put in the work.
You wearing a lot of hats. I ain't gonna lie, man. When I first met you, I'm like, man, this nigga a drug dealer.
But they thought I was selling drugs back when I was younger.
Anytime a Black man doing good,
see,
how you get this car?
It started in my youth. It's been that way for a long time, because when I was younger, Joe Young, I'm playing basketball, and this guy Jimmy Young, we like best friends, and his uncle was painting cars. And I got my first car, and we broke. We ain't got no gas money, and I used to go up to his uncle's shop, and he'd have me sweep up the shop, give me $5 or $6. That's gas money, you know? So then, on the weekend, I'm, taping them up and putting primer on them, making a couple dollars. So I'm picking up some skills. So by my senior in high school, I'm like painting everybody's cars in the neighborhood. So now my car, I got rims on it and colored tint and sounds, and they like, he ain't working. He like, oh, he a drug dealer. So it started at 18 years old, but I always was just kind of finding a way. So I was finding my way, and then I started buying houses. So I've always moved kind of silently. I've never been a person that, holding up the money phone and talking about what I got. I just move. And then you'll see what I can accomplish, and if you don't understand it, you might say, "Oh, those drugs."
So that's funny. We had that whole conversation the way.
No, seriously, though, I'm like, man, no, he's selling drugs. But I ain't gonna lie though. So from the time that I first met you, from the short period of time, your wedding, because I DJ'd your wedding or whatever, I'm like, okay, well, no,
especially if you came to the wedding,
he doing something else.
Oh yeah, you having a wedding like this,
he on some other stuff.
All we was missing
videographers, photographers.
All we was missing was a couple elephants in a unicorn at that motherfucker.
But I definitely got something else you wanna.
Nah, man, like I said, we just appreciate you coming out to the What You Gotta Say podcast.
For sure.
And this would be out in the air soon.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
we out.
I like to check that out. Yep, and. If you got anything, because y'all out in the community, and y'all know how I want to do my research and be involved. So if it's anything that y'all come across that you think I should be a part of, or I need to, stick my head in the room and see what's going on, feel free to reach out.
And I'm gonna connect you with my guy too, Percy. He like do what you do in Flint, but y'all, if it's any way that y'all can connect, and they got something in the works. So however, I'm gonna connect y'all too.
I know y'all ending, but I got one more piece.
Go
ahead.
When I ran for council, and they was asking, if you get on city council, what would you do to combat crime? And I heard everyone's responses, but again, how I think outside the box. I had mentioned how the fire department get a stipend to give out the smoke detectors to prevent fires.
Yeah.
Said technology is cheap. And I said, I've given them to a couple of my tenants, and then I have them on my businesses, but light bulb cameras. I said, the police department can get a stipend and give out light bulb cameras, to help prevent crimes and things like that. And everybody thought that was a good idea. So, the city manager and the police chief, they reached out to me after I didn't win the election. And they asked, was I still going to do it? And I said, yeah, but I didn't seek a grant or anything, because I don't like too many hands when I'm trying to do something, because I want to do it, my way. So what I wind up doing, and I've been doing it all this summer, I was ordering about a dozen light bulb cameras, ordering the SD cards, and I'll put them together. And then first two people were my family members, light bulb cameras. I put them in. I did a video of it at my brother's house. And it just took off. Everybody's been wanting them, and I'll give a person a camera for $30.
Dang.
And then when I, get rid of them, I'll reorder, and I'll just keep them on hand. And right now, I probably got about 70 to 80 cameras, all through Sheridan Park, Flipside. I got them all on Linwood. I got them all in BV. And, I did that because my idea of the neighborhood watch back in the day was my granddad sitting on the porch, all the neighbors sat on the porch, and we playing curveball. Everybody watched the kids in the neighborhood, So then now everybody is busy and more active, so they're not at home. So my new version of neighborhood watch, let's get 2 or 3 cameras on every block, because I'm not big on just, we need more police. Police is a second choice. It's the neighbors watching each other back and communicating first, and then you call the police if you can't handle something that's going on. So that's what I've been organically doing, and I did that through the summer, even before I've been appointed. But that's my own thing that I've been doing, and I'm still currently doing it. I always got like 4 or 5 cameras in my car, and somebody inboxed me on Facebook. You got some more cameras? I said, yeah, I bring it to you. And then a lot of times, person porch light not working, switch don't work. I've did a couple electrical favors, and I don't want anything from that. One lady had recessed lighting, and she didn't know that you can get a light socket extension to bring the bulb down lower. I just ran to Menards and grabbed one. It was like $4,
and just throw it on there for
so I've been doing that because those, sometimes the people who need a camera, they can't afford to pay for an electrician to come out. So that kind of supports itself, with me delivering them and giving them a little support. So, I got those out in the community, and I'm still doing it. So,
so now that you on the city council, like, do they plan on how can present it to the city, like, instead of you moving, in the background and doing your thing with it? Is they gonna put it on the?
Well, even the city officials and other council members, they see that I'm doing it, but like I say, that's my own
Okay.
project,
Yeah.
and I'm sure like other council members are doing things with the kids and doing things in the school system. So everybody will pour the energy into what they need, and sometimes when you put too many hands on something, it slows down the mechanism. So I like just doing it organically like this. So a person will reach out for a camera. I'll just stop by. I'll stop by and drop it off on my way to work, so it doesn't cut in. The way I'm doing it doesn't cut into anything else I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm involved in the.
Is it easy? Is it like changing the light bulb?
You screw it in like a light bulb and scan the QR code, and it's a PTZ, so you can use your phone to move it left and right. It turns into a porch light, and then also if it sees something, it'll track it for like 5 seconds and send you the video, and it's $30. And I've had them outside of. I got them outside of my banquet hall, my home, and they've been outside for 4 years. A $30 camera, and then when you load it with the SD card, you don't have cloud subscription like you do.
That's what I was like.
No cloud.
Yeah.
And if something happened 2:00 in the morning, you can type in the time and roll it back and download a whole 2-minute clip of anything that happened. So
it must does like an auto wipe after so many times.
I ordered the correct size card because a 32 gig SD card will keep the cost down, but it'll give you enough record time where it don't write over itself till about 30 days.
Okay, so that's perfect. Yeah.
You don't want to get too big of a card, then the cost of it is higher. So I think that's a sweet spot, and they cost about $26. So I just rounded up to 30 because sometimes I have to help a person. I've brought one and it didn't screw in right and it was broken. I had to give her a new one. So that extra couple bucks in there will, help if anything goes wrong. So that's what I've been doing.
Dang, man.
That's dope. I might got to grab one of them.
I was saying, now people know they're going to inbox it.
Yeah, so,
a light bulb camera. That's what's up.
Because you got to also think the application at apartment complexes. You want some kind of security, but you can't alter the apartment complex. But you can unscrew the light and screw it in at your apartment complex.
Yeah, you're killing two birds with one stone.
If you move, you can take the camera with you. So that'll help you at temporary places too. If you renting, you can't put a permanent fixture on it, but you can change it in light bulb, so it kind of works in places where we need it. So
that's dope.
That's super dope. I didn't even know that was the whole thing, because I knew they got like cameras, like Ring cameras and all that, but the light bulb.
When we head out, I got one in the car.
I want to check it out. Yeah.
I'm curious.
Well, man. Tobais Young, city council member, man. Yes. He came through, stopped kicking it with us for a minute.
A lot of knowledge on us, y'all.
Dropped something on us.
So, if y'all want to reach out to Tobais, we're gonna get your information, because we'll put it down below, like your contact information. So if you got any, like he said, bright ideas about what we can do in the city, hit him up. Something that you see that need fixed. As you see, my man fixes. That's all he does. He's like me. I love problems because then there's a solution to it. So let's get Tobais, man, and I think him being on the city council is gonna be a beautiful thing for Saginaw.
Yeah, man. It's making me
appreciate you.
Making me want to learn more about what's going on now, man. That I know somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So man.
And Tobais, when things come across the table, I make sure I post it, because you see on my Facebook page, you got the job fair at Delta, things like that. I know that help the community. I make sure I put that out there too.
That's good.
Yeah. That's good info. What You Gotta Say podcast. We out.
Yes, sir.
What you gotta say?